Okay, this is about my third time on each time a separate day to try to record my second vlog. Yes, I know it's horrible, but I can only ever record when no one's home. And technically, my dad and my brother are still home, but they're asleep, so I'm gonna try to keep it down. So I'll hold the microphone closer to my mouth. Okay, things I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about uh questions and identifying myself, and just some things that for a while, like, I thought that maybe I wasn't even in FTM. Well, maybe not in a while. This has only been happening, well, the research portion, for like a couple months. But yeah, I wasn't sure if I was an FTM because I just didn't feel I connected with a lot of other FTMs. And but I know there's something wrong with my gender identity. I mean, if every time you see a shooting star, which is a very rare occasion, actually I've never seen a shooting star, but still, a birthday cake, or I notice that it's 11/11, the first wish that comes to mind is to be a guy. I'm pretty sure I'm not a normal chick. So yeah, and then I took this SAGE test that said I was androgynous, and it stated that since I identified it like my biological gender was female, that I was an FTM, in like questioning whether I should transition, which is a pretty accurate description of myself. But I still don't feel completely androgynous. I feel more lean towards FTM. I mean, there are feminine aspects to myself and just feminineness in general that I don't really mind. Like, I don't mind wearing dresses, makeup. It's not that difficult for me. But if I had the choice between a dress and a suit, I'd pick a suit over a dress any day. And so because I'm still kind of confused and not even sure how to identify myself, not that it really matters, I just would like some closure to understand myself. A lot of people turn to therapy or psychiatrist, gender specialist, to help verbalize their problems and their confusions, and then maybe get some closure or like understanding. And but then I'll be able to become maybe properly diagnosed, or then I'll be able to transition or be able to take the next step, because right now it's very difficult for me to do anything right now. And also, even if therapy, I'm probably never going to go to therapy, just because of the way my parents are. And I'm not necessarily saying their reactions, because I'm thinking overall eventually they'll be supportive, but I'm not even exactly sure. My father, he's a very by the book kind of guy, and he's very old fashioned in his values. Like, he's all about having appearances and having in public looking good and all that jazz. And my mother was curious, and like, not curious, but it's interesting. There we go. Is that a couple years ago she told us once, I still remember, she said that, oh, if we were ever gay or lesbian, she told me and my brother and sisters that if we could go to her anytime and she would always be accepting. But that was before she became an overly religious zealot who goes to church 3 days a week and supported Prop 8 not because of her own ideals, but purely because her church was voting for Prop 8. That's how much she's blindly devoted to her church. So, I mean, it would get me out of her forcing me to go to her church, but I'm thinking she'll still be awkward. It'll still be awkward around her. So yeah, and besides, with therapy being $130 a pop, or in that general area, I find it hard to believe. Like, I have this sense that I don't even want to waste my father's money or waste anyone's money, and it just seems sort of like a waste of money to me to be spending all that if I can just find it on my own, even if it will take more time. And by the way, also I wanted to note that I didn't even realize that so many FTMs were making vlogs. I mean, I mentioned in my first one that, oh, I saw other people's vlogs. I wanted to make one, but I just meant like average people's vlogs. Well, I know we're just normal people too. I mean, who's normal? Anyways, I'm just rambling on and going around in circles. But yeah, and I was just really shocked, and I was surprised and happy that so many people were. I mean, the internet is a way to release release emotions and say things and express ourselves in ways that sometimes we can't do so in real life. I mean, I certainly can't talk about this stuff to people other than my friends. It's very hard for me. So yeah, so um, earlier when I mentioned that this was my third try, my computer was having problems. The webcam was not uploading straight to YouTube, and I can only do this when people aren't home because I still haven't came out yet, and I'm still very, 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 very paranoid about what people will think. So yeah, so that's just my ideals, and I'm going to see you guys later, and hopefully it won't be forever and a day before I respond to you. Oh, and I went back to school, and everything's going good, and yeah, so I have tons of thoughts that I want to just express in my vlogs that I'm just saving for later. So yeah, so bye guys. Oh, Dakota Daily, out.